the show with Conversation with the Homecare Guyz, Faris, and the nonprofit guru herself, C. Nicole Henderson. You know, I don't know what the C stands for, but it's all good. But listen, we're here. We're
going to answer story for that.
Huh?
I got the story for that. I could tell you the tea on that one.
Well, you know what? I want you to give us the tea before we ask these questions. Give us the tea. What's the C? Tell me why you came.
So when I was younger, I always knew I wanted to be an author. I wanted to be a writer. 20 years ago, it was a big deal whether they had male writers, female writers. You know, now you could be a cat, write a book. No one cares. And so my pen name was going to be C.N. Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
And I called myself, you know, trying to, you know, so people wouldn't know whether I was female or what. They just knew C.N. Henderson. And so when I got my divorce, I thought that was a great time to change my first name. And so the part of my first name I will use is Char, C-H-A-R. And I love that I changed it just the letter C. So legally, like on my driver's license, everything is just the letter C. And people are like, well, what's your first name? C. No. What else? No, C. And I am now a published author. And I also have a publishing company now, and I help nonprofits to craft and write their story as well through the 4i Media and Publishing. Wow. So yeah, it's just we just came out with our new book collaboration called Audacity to Shine, and I'm C. Nicole, so yeah.
I got you. Well, we're gonna dive into some questions really quick. These are questions out of the blue, and then we're gonna jump back into it. What is the last place you traveled to?
Just recently, Jacksonville Beach and Myrtle Beach.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What was your first job?
Oh my God! Like everybody else, McDonald's. Really.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Let's
First real job was McDonald's.
Gotcha. Let's talk about this. What is your favorite color? I'm always fascinated about colors. What is your favorite color?
Gosh, you know, I'm kind of a funny person when it comes to clothes. So I love black and white for clothes, but for like cars and stuff like that, I love silver or green.
Okay.
I'm a silver girl. My car now is silver.
Yeah.
Come on.
But yeah, I'm definitely black and white.
Look, if you had a superpower, what would that superpower be?
I was just asked this, y'all. I told them, and I truly believe my superpower is ability to love beyond limits.
Wow.
That's a good answer.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Okay, and last but not least, I guess, what is your dream vacation? What is your dream actually destination?
To be with Caleb on vacation.
Exactly. Because he's everywhere.
That sounds like a plan. I love
it. I would have so
much fun. No one said that before. I like that. That's a great answer.
No, seriously. Somebody's beach.
Yeah.
Somebody's beach. Y'all want to treat me to a vacation? Send me to the beach somewhere, some country. Somebody's beach. Beautiful water, sunny skies, cultural history, great food. That would be my vacation.
Have you been to there's a little island off of Puerto Rico called Culebra?
No, I haven't.
Oh my goodness. So if you go to Puerto Rico and you go to, I think the city is Fajardo. You can ride like a $5 ferry to Culebra, and it's called Flamenco Beach. It's like the third most beautiful beach in the world.
Wow.
And it's a $5 ferry from Puerto Rico. It's like a little island off of Puerto Rico, and it's so beautiful. So I think you would love that.
That's gonna be my next one then, y'all. Okay. Right there.
All right, Faris, go for it. Let's go.
All right. Well, let's get into it, because I think one thing as business owners, a lot of business owners, we have the social conscience, we have missions that we like to go through and actually fulfill as well. But we also realize we have obligations within our taxes as well. And so I want you to go through and kind of, I remember us talking last year when we were forming one of our family foundations, kind of go through and actually talk about the benefits of actually a nonprofit or nonprofit organization when it comes to owning a business, being able to contribute, and then to go through and actually follow through on the missions on your own accord as well.
Okay, you mean as a business owner?
Yes, as a business owner. Yep.
Yes. So there are a lot of states have what's called B Corps. Georgia doesn't have one yet, where some companies actually become a benefit company, where they're for profit, but they want to be able to give, like Paul Newman did with his, with his food line. It's became a benefit corp. So for those who don't have that and want to go to that greater level of social responsibility and goodwill, they can form a 501c3 and be able to have it either as a public or private organization. And if it's private, you don't have to be operating. You can be a private non-operating or a private operating, which means you're not running programs and services as a private foundation. You do give, and you're able to help, your family and do some of those things you want to do. But then publicly, you would reach out to your sources outside of yourself. Like if you give too much of your own income to a public organization, the IRS would change your designation to private. So you have to be careful not going after funding, because you need that funding to maintain your public status. Because it takes 5 years for them to change that back to public.
Oh, wow.
And so if you're private and you're pretty much funding through your dividends, your revenue shares, other things that you're doing to raise money, whether it's through your stock options and different things like that, you're doing things to perpetuate that legacy also for your family. So it's many benefits. For one, you can have a trust, and you can have this for your family. The second thing is you can also have something for your employees. You could create a nonprofit where now you have a place where you can have benevolence and community engagement and financial support for your employees, as well as, maybe even a fund for the employees, for things that they might need, whether it's for the holidays or bereavement or, anything that you want to be able to do. And then you also have social causes and justices that you want to support. And so you can support that through your nonprofit as well. Maybe you want to support, veterans, housing, seniors, foster care kids, whatever the source of the problem is, and you want to help alleviate that. You could do that through your business as well. So there's a lot of benefits to that. And then people can donate 30% to a private organization of their adjusted gross income as well.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
And all of that is written off. Like all of that's written off. Like the business can donate to the family foundation, or the foundation.
Business can donate to the family foundation, yes. But also the business may want to look at having, if it's family owned business. Yeah, because you're talking about a family owned business donating to the family foundation. Yeah.
Correct.
Because the reason why I asked that is because I look at these major big corporations like Microsoft and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and all these other nonprofits that they are running through a foundation or a family foundation, and they have all these millions of dollars that they are giving to the business. Like even the Jackie Robinson Foundation, I was a part of that scholarship where they had I guess it's a family foundation that they have other vendors and people to give to students like ourselves that were it was like high academics, students that need funding for college. And so they pretty much kind of gave to those causes. And so through these successful entities, these businesses that the family owns or corporations own, they can give a percentage and it'll be totally written off, up to 30%, you said 30% written off to the family foundation.
Yeah, their adjusted income, because that's different from a business.
Correct.
Okay.
Adjusted is your personal, then you also got your business. So yes, I just want to make sure we were clear about that. But with that being said, though, like a private foundation could give to any organization. If you want to give to your university, you want to give to other nonprofits, which I've decided to start a nonprofit this year. So
Nice.
I'm gonna let y'all know. So you
Huh?
can sow your seeds.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, because a lot of people who in this industry, they have their own nonprofits. I just was waiting till there was a time, because mine is going to be non-operating though.
Mhm.
I just want to be able to raise money to give to the causes that are very important to me. Like I want kids to have beds.
Exactly. And that's awesome to be able to be mission oriented, start those nonprofits as well. One thing I want to go through and actually ask is, especially when we're especially as when it comes to the planning phase, when it comes to the planning phase of actually getting a nonprofit started, when should especially like maybe a business owner, let's say we're talking to a successful business owner right now, they're running an agency, a home care agency, and they're planning out the things that they would like to do for the end of the year. But a lot of it is going to be kind of mission oriented, kind of giving back. When should they start a nonprofit? Like, should they start one immediately? Should they start one at the end of the year? How long does it typically take to start a nonprofit? Let's talk about that.
Well, I want to say there's no real time of when to start and when not to start. But if you're going to do a private foundation, the basis on that is that you're going to start with some kind of substantial amount of money in it.
Correct.
And so if you're making at least $250,000 as an organization and you want to be able to start a nonprofit and start putting some funds aside, even if you just give away $5,000 a year,
yes,
I mean, you're helping somebody.
Yes.
So it don't have to be 5 million or 500,000, but you can start where you are. But ultimately, as a private foundation, your goal is to put millions of dollars into that organization over time. And as a public foundation, there's no caps or limits or anything like that. And you can start that at any time, whether you have money or not. So you can begin to serve in the areas that you want to serve in.
Because I think one thing that I see when we decided to go through and start our family foundation, we wanted to do it strategically. We wanted to go through with the goal of helping out the certain populations that we have outlined in our mission as well. And we wanted to go through because we were getting to a point where we were either making a choice to go through and pay the IRS all this funds back, or getting those funds and say, you know what, we're gonna pay Uncle Sam his fair share, but we know the tax law, we know the benefit of having this organization. We're gonna go through and be able to give back to our community on a larger scale, because instead of giving Uncle Sam X number of dollars, we can go back and give it to the causes that we have in place as well.
Sure.
And so that's one thing I would recommend as well, especially for entrepreneurs that already know last year you already paid X number of dollars in taxes. The year before last, you already paid X number of dollars in taxes. You don't have a nonprofit and you already been giving, which most entrepreneurs they give a lot already back as well. But you want to give it another level. This is where I would go through and recommend. Okay, well, hey, maybe now is the time to start a foundation. Now is the time to start a nonprofit, so that now that you can go through and give on a larger scale on your own accord as well.
Yeah.
I think the main thing is actually when you do that is actually to actually give to those causes that are really supporting, really supporting the people, whether it's smaller nonprofits or really nonprofits that really speak to you, whether it's like, if you're interested in, tree planting. I think they even have a nonprofit in tree planting, like
they do.
Trees and
agriculture, conservation. Yes.
Agriculture, yeah. If you're interested in that, if you're interested in pets, the Humane Foundation, all of these things, support or children, whatever it is, support the true causes that you have and really kind of give back to it. And make sure you make an impact in the community.
Yes.
Faris, I'm gonna tell you one thing, Nicole, we just thought about this in our old community that we used to stay in Hancock County. What we talked about, Faris, there's not a playground.
Yes.
We literally talked about this. There's not a playground for kids in the park. And so what we want to do is through our nonprofit, we want to make sure we give and either if it's matching dollars or even kind of fund the whole thing or whatever it is. But we want to give and put a playground in the park so kids can play. Kids can have an outdoor activity, because that's the impact that we're talking about. Make that impact, that lasting impact.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. And let me know how I can help with that, because we'd have to probably go through the city or the county, find out about property and places. But if you got a place that doesn't have a playground, I mean, y'all, our kids are our future.
Yes.
And, one of the things that they need is to feel safe and to feel like they got a place to express themselves and to play in the sand and the dirt and, to get on the jungle gym or whatever they call those things. That's so important. And I'm glad you got a heart for that, because at the end of the day, you want to have the heart. So one of our specialties is joint ventures. So if you are a business owner, we highly recommend that you start a nonprofit, whether it's whether it's private or public, but that for you to start a foundation. And so that way you'll be able to give back through that foundation and be able to have some things, to be able to do what you need to do with it. The other thing is, I've heard business owners say this from a very proactive way, and this also leads to building their tribe. So if you are a business owner and you want to build your tribe, start telling people you giving $25,000 away. Say, people like, whoa, hold up. Where's she at? Let me join her organization, or let me get on her podcast. She giving away some money. And so, or he's giving away some money. So, because she said last year she gave away 15,000. This year she want to give away 50. So what she's trying to tell them is, as her income increase, as her profits increase, she's going to give more. And so she's like, follow me, stay connected so that I can give you all this $50,000. So business owners don't think about it, but guess what? You can literally increase your tribe, your influence, your impact through your giving.
Wow.
You just had another gem.
I mean, all these gems is being dropped and I think that's one thing we definitely want to get with you on how to go through, because we have a heart for our community. Like we love Sparta, Georgia. That's our home. That's our family. That's where we grew up. We grew up in Sparta, moved to Milledgeville, but being able to go through it and actually give those children an opportunity to go through and just play and have fun, because we're only gonna be kids for a little bit, but being able to go through and actually just starting something like that. But I'll be interested. Okay, last question, and we'll close it out probably in 1 minute. Let's say, how would you handle this? You have a nonprofit that desires to go through and give back to a community playground, i.e., what would be the first 3 steps that you would go through and take in kind of walking us through that process?
So the first thing is for me to sit down with that client and find out what it is that they want to do. And to first find out if it's charitable. Because everything that you want to do may not fall into being a 501c3.
Got it.
So we have to first make sure it's charitable, that it meets the test for being charitable. And then once we identify that it is, and then we could talk about how that vision and mission wants to go about. And we have what's called an assessment. So we share with the client what our terms are, what our agreements are. We set them up with an appointment, and we do the assessment usually takes about 2 sessions, and we gather all this data through our worksheet in order to fill out their paperwork. And so they go ahead and either make their deposit or pay in full, and then we move forward with helping them to get established. One of the things that just came to me, Faris, and I know I'm putting you and Caleb on the spot, but I have a pastor down in South Georgia. He has invested into a lot of people down there who want to start nonprofits. I know 2 people in Sparta who want to start nonprofits that are doing the work. What is a historical tour to help youth? But they just can't afford it. So maybe you guys want to think about, is that something that you would be willing to invest in, is to help some people start their nonprofits?
Yeah, and these are the things where, like, I really believe it goes back down to what you said, having those individuals come through and have that crucial conversation with us, because we believe in giving back to our community. And I think right now we've been blessed to be in a position to give back. And I think having those individuals that come with that structured plan, people that are coming up on the consultancy, because it's one thing to come and say, this is what I'm going to go through and do, but it's another thing to come to the table with, these are the plans. This is my board member. This is what it looks like. It's not all just families and sisters and brothers on it, because that's one thing that I would, if I'm investing into a nonprofit, I want to go through and know where my dollars are going. Is the nonprofit top heavy on the payroll, and we got 90% going to payroll and 10% going back to the mission? That's probably something I'm not going to be investing in. but if and I understand it's levels to that percentage when it comes to like the larger the organization, and also I know it costs to go through and run an organization, so I'm not kind of fooled on that standpoint, but these are the conversations where we sit down at the table to go through and have a conversation and see if it's the right organization to invest in, because we're definitely desiring to go through and give back to our community on a higher level. And hey, having those people sit down at the table, that's definitely something we'd be willing to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Nicole, I think that you just hit it on the head. I think that a lot of these younger companies are, starting these nonprofits, and they need the funds and the resources. And they need investors. And I think that the key to it is making sure that we as investors, we do want to see work though. We want to see what have you put in. And so what have you done for the past 6 months to a year, and then what these funds will be utilized for, until, you get your stuff going. But I like that. I think that the more nonprofits we have, that's how we make the world a better place.
Yes.
Yeah. It's RFPs. So you would create a request for proposal, and you would put your guidelines in that proposal. And when people submit their applications, you'll know what their plans are, and they have to present you with a certain amount of information. And then you can put some tracking information in there as well that you want them to do to be accountable for the funds that you help them with.
And before we go, this will be the last thing before we close out, because again, you guys have access to our consultant, Nicole. She runs not only this, she helps us go through and actually structure our nonprofit, but on our for-profit side, plenty of different things we got going over there as well. But one thing when it comes to working with the business is we like to operate within our budget, and we know our annual budget. And so we like for those people that are requesting something for 2023, get with us on that Q4, that Q3, Q4, 2022. So when we sit down, because I don't like to tell people no, but I like to have things done in decent and in order as well. Yes. So if we know that something's coming on down the line that we can go through and budget for, if we have set number of dollars that's going to be going towards our missions that we're funding, now we can include you in it. Because if you come after the fact, the budget's already the budget, and we're not going to increase or decrease it, but the budget is the budget. So that's one thing I would encourage any individual when you're kind of reaching out to a for-profit organization or a nonprofit organization that may have resources to assist you with your nonprofit or mission. Make sure you respect that part as well when the timing when it comes to asking for those funds as well.
The budget and the schedule too.
The budget and the schedule. Well, guys, this has been an amazing, oh my gosh, amazing interview, amazing after show. Nicole, you're amazing. Thank you so much for all that you're doing, girl. Yeah, man. Katie, you want to close it out?
Well, thank you for tuning into the after show, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode with C. Nicole Henderson. We know what the C stands for now. And we're just excited. Thank you for your nonprofit services to so many nonprofits, as well as our community at large. And keep on impacting the world, Nicole. Keep on impacting the nation. And let's continue to help these nonprofits make a difference. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Blessings. Thank you so much.